your battles. Pick yourself up and dust yourself off and back in the saddle. You're on the front line, everyone's watching. You know it's serious, we're getting closer, this isn't over. The pressure's on, you feel it, but you got it all, believe it. When you fall, get up, oh, oh, and if you fall, get up, eh, eh. Tamina, mina, sangalewa, cause this is Africa. Tamina, mina, eh, eh, waka, waka, eh, eh. Tamina, mina, sangalewa.
Hi, this is Steve Christian, and welcome to the very first edition of the Variant Review. Today I'm going to be reviewing the game Africana. It's a recent release by Z-Man Games and Michael Schacht. But before we get there, let me tell you how my video reviews work. First, I'm going to give you a review of the game. I'm going to tell you what I like, what I dislike, give you my overall impressions, and then give you a final score on a scale of 1 to 10. If you're like me and find yourself skimming through the online video reviews just to get to the end, to get to the actual review, final impressions, and scoring, then I have good news for you. This video's for you because I'm giving it to you right up front. Next, I'm going to move into gameplay. I'm going to teach you how to set the game up, how to play it, and how to do the final scoring. I'm not going to teach you every nuance, but I will teach you enough so you can watch my video and get started playing right away. Finally, I love variants, and there hasn't been a game that I haven't played that I can't find a variant for. So I'm going to give you my 2 favorite game hacks for Africana, one of those being a 2-player variant and the other one being a solo variant. My primary gaming partner is my wife, so I'm always trying to find ways to make the 2-player gaming experience better, and as you'll see in my future videos, many of my variants are centered around improving and tightening up the 2-player experience in many board games. So with that being said, let's get to the review. Alright, so Africana is actually a very simple victory point game where you score victory points in one of 2 ways. One way is to complete expeditions that are out on the board and complete them faster than your friends. The other way is to collect cards from the book and then deliver the good that's on the card to the specific destination on the map. There are 3 core mechanics predicated around that scoring. The first mechanic itself is to, one, you can draw cards from a deck. So one of the options you have in a game is to draw 2 cards from the deck and add them to your hand. The second mechanic in the game is to move your pawn around the board using the cards that you've drawn. So you use the cards that you've drawn, match the symbol and color on the board, and you move your pawn to that symbol or color as long as it's connected to the current location you're at. The last mechanic in the game is to actually draw cards from the book. You draw cards from the book by either paying $5 that you have in your own personal supply to collect that card, or you can actually flip the book, flip a page in the book for free once, and then continue to flip pages for $1 additional to find the specific card you're looking for, and then pay the $5 to get it. So those are the 3 primary mechanics in the game. Like I said, it's very simple. You're either drawing cards, you're moving your pawn on the board, or you're buying cards from the books. There's a book on the north end, and there's a book on the south end. And there's the equator line separates which side of Africa are you on to select the card from the book that you want. So overall, I like the game. It's pretty simple. I was able to teach my wife and get her playing in 5 minutes or so. My wife is a gamer. She'll play anything from Vinos to Dominant Species to Kalis with me. So this was actually pretty simple for her, and she said it was actually really simple, a little too simple maybe. But we had enough fun playing it. We did enjoy it. I'm not sure where the comparisons to Ticket to Ride come from. This game has nothing to do with Ticket to Ride, so I'm not sure how or why people are comparing it to Ticket to Ride on BGG, other than it is a simple game, and that's a good thing. It's something you can break out with your friends who are non-gamers or gamers and teach them, and I think everyone could play pretty competitively equally once they get a few rounds under their belt. My only concern with the game is maybe runaway leader. If someone gets a hold of these wild assistants early, they could really take control of the game and be rocking through expeditions and completing them quite rapidly at a much faster pace than you would ever catch up. That happened to me and a friend of mine at the Gaming Hoopla recently, where I was actually taught the game. The guy that was playing with us, obviously he played it before, knew what he's doing, and I never felt like I had a chance, but by the 3rd round he had assistance, and it seemed like every round he was completing expeditions, and I had no way to ever catch up. At least that's how it felt. But I think once you learn the game, you learn how to be competitive, you learn the value of the assistants, and then it becomes a battle to get those and try and keep up with your competitors to complete the expeditions and complete them faster than them. So overall, I like the game a lot. It's not the greatest game. I'm not going to be breaking it out quite as often as some other games like a Ticket to Ride or maybe a Small World, but it's something I would play once a month, and I see my wife and I playing it once a month. I'm definitely going to keep it in my collection. It's not going anywhere. The artwork is fantastic on the game. The components are beautiful. I think Z-Man did a fantastic job putting the game together and producing it. So on production quality alone and the simplicity of the game and the ease to teach it, I'm giving it a solid 7. And like I said, it's something I'll definitely keep in my collection. It's not going anywhere. It's something my wife and I will continue to play, and it's something I hope to teach my kids when they get a little bit older. I think it's something that I could teach them probably when they're around 7 years old, and they would be able to jump in and be pretty competitive after a few plays. So, like I said, it's a score of a 7. 7 out of 10 is a good score. Great game. Thank you, Michael Schacht. I appreciate it, and I look forward to your future games. All right, so now I'm going to walk you through the 2-player variant as well as give you my solo player variant. So first, let's go through the 2-player variant. One of the issues I had with my wife was a runaway leader in a 2-player game. So what we've done to circumvent that is we have removed 5 of the wild assistants from the books, and we only play with 5 total. That makes it more difficult to get the assistants and prevents someone from getting a couple within the first few turns and really taking over and running away with the game quite quickly. So what we do is we put 3 assistant cards in the northern half of Africa in the northern book, and we put 2 in the southern book. So 5 total assistants available in the game. It makes it a little bit more difficult to get them, kind of evens it out, and you'll see it's more of an equal balance in a 2-player game. So I'm going to take the 2, shuffle them in randomly, put those in the book in the southern end. Take these 3, I shuffle them in randomly as well. Get those in. And then that's it. The game plays as normal, with the only change being that we've reduced the total number of assistants in the game to 2, and it keeps our 2-player games more competitive and closer. It doesn't add a whole lot of additional game time to our games. I haven't noticed any significant difference with the addition of the variant, and what I found is it's tightened up the 2-player experience and it's made it more enjoyable for us. So give it a try. Alright, so now I'm going to walk you through the Africana solo player variant that I've developed and played and enjoy quite a bit. It's actually very simple. You're going to use the 2-player variant that I just taught you a few minutes ago in the video, and that you're going to have 3 assistants set up in the north end of Africa, and you're going to have 2 assistants set up in the south end of Africa. So 3 in the brown book and 2 in the white book. And once again, those should all be unique. You shouldn't have any 2 on both sides of the book. So 3 assistants north and 2 assistants south, just like the 2-player variant. After that, the game setup is as normal. You're going to get your wild assistant. You're going to get 2 travel cards from the top of the deck. This is called the solo Cape Town solo player variant. So you're always going to start in Cape Town. You take the Cape Town company card, take your Cape Town company marker, and you're going to start in Cape Town. You start with $2 and your 4 expedition markers. The way you set up the expedition deck, and here's where how the solo player experience works, is there's 3 difficulties. There's easy, medium, and hard, and that's based on how you set up the expedition deck, and that's based on the number of players in the game that you would normally do. So if you want to play the game solo game on easy, you're going to remove 4 expedition cards, C cards from the deck. If you want to play on medium, you're going to remove 7 expedition cards from the deck, C cards. And if you want to play on hard, you're going to remove 10 C expedition cards from this deck. So once you determine whether you want to play easy, medium, or hard, you'll remove the cards, do the shuffle, and then you're going to get them set up here. And the way the solo player game works is very simple. For those of you that have played Thunderstone or Thunderstone Advance, this mechanic is going to be very familiar to you. basically the way the game's going to work is at the start of the game, you're going to flip one expedition card. And this expedition card, for example, says Cape Town. So now it's my turn. So immediately I can join that expedition. I put my marker down, and this was just blind luck. And then I get a coin. And that's the end of my turn. At the start of my next turn, these cards are going to slide down, just like in Thunderstone. I'm going to flip the next card down. I'm going to take my turn, and I'm going to continue to slide these cards down at the end of each one of my turns. And these cards are going to keep sliding. So at the end, I'm going to move, slide the cards, take my next turn, slide the cards, and I'm going to keep doing that to the end of the game. If a card gets to the end of the board and I have not completed that expedition, it's going to be removed from the deck, or removed from the board, and go to the bot score. So the bot is going to score that card and you do not score. And these next cards will slide down. So you essentially have 5 turns to complete a quest, otherwise the bot's going to score that against you. You're going to keep playing this game till you complete this deck entirely, and the last card is either scored for the bot or scored for you. At the end of the game, the scoring is just like any other scoring in Africana. You're going to add up your total, you're going to add up the bot's total, and whoever has the highest score wins. I have played this a number of times on easy, medium, and hard. I've never beaten it on hard. I have beat it on easy and medium. I'm sure many of you out there can beat it on hard. I recommend give it a try. I've come close a few times to where I've lost anywhere from 2 to 4 points, but I've never actually beat it on hard. So play the game. Like I said, you make your move, the card slides down. If you don't complete the expedition by the time it gets here, the next action is you remove it from the board and it scores for the bot. You keep playing that till this deck is entirely depleted and every card is either scored for you or the bot. You add up each other's score, whoever's the highest score wins. And that is the Africana Cape Town solo player variant.
Big